Hey everyone, we're finally live. We're only like 5 minutes late to the show, 7 minutes late to the show.
Fine, who's counting?
Yeah. All right. So welcome to the Overland 870 podcast. And Gina, Brad's better half. Right now I've got him downstairs scrubbing the toilets and washing my Jeep since he got it muddy this weekend. We got it muddy this weekend. Let's see. I've got Jessie McBride with Feral Chick Outdoors, right? No, yes. Feral Chick Outdoors.
Something like that. Close enough.
Close enough. And then I've got Leanne Puckett with Till Valhalla with me tonight. And we're going to bring it storming the podcast with the ladies' night tonight.
Isn't there a song about that? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, that should be in the intro, right?
Yeah, we need to rework the intro for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at least put like the Shania Twain "Let's Go Girl" song, like something.
Oh, yes. Even better.
I can get behind that one. I could get up there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man! All right, so we'll just get started right here. Let's start out with Jessie. So, Feral Chick Outdoors. So that's yours. That's yours.
My
Tell us
baby.
about it.
So it really honestly just kind of started. Lance and I started this whole camping, overlanding, that kind of stuff. And I was just honestly looking for a way to organize it and not essentially forcing it on people. I'd had some comments for some close friends at one point in time that are like, you guys are always doing something. So I decided to put it in its own little section. And so I started Feral Chick Outdoors that way. And it's really kind of evolved. I was in an all-girl Jeep group, and that was going to be kind of my baby, would be like the overlanding camping side of it, and that kind of went kaput. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself. So I went ahead and took my social media that I already started, and I've turned that into Feral Chick Outdoors. It's been a really awesome adventure so far. The first one that we did was last April. We went last spring, and we did, we started at Hawksbill Crag, kind of up that way, and then we came down through like Car Wash Falls. I think I had 14 rigs and 21 women join in on the first trip. So that was pretty impressive. I knew majority of these women through one outlet or another, but they didn't really know each other at all. And by the end of the weekend, everybody was literally like its own sisterhood. Everybody was helping each other. Everybody was talking to each other. And it was pretty phenomenal. Just kind of watch how that came together. And then I've kind of got like this core crowd now that, as they would like to say, they'll follow me anywhere. We'll follow you off a cliff. So we've done a few trips since then, and continue to grow. We've kind of evolved into a it's important for women to know how to put all the camping gear away into off-road to get out of somewhere. What if something happens to, I don't know, Bradley's foot or something, and he can't drive you out, or get your camp set down? You know, are you going to know how to do that efficiently, effectively, and quickly to get him wherever it is he needs to go?
Right.
And also it's fun. It's fun. How many times have you gone somewhere though and gotten into a fight with your husband about how something should be done, put away, out? You know what I'm saying? I've got some friends, and it seems like every time we go camping with them, they get into a fight over something.
Yeah.
So this gives them the opportunity to take those rigs that may not be theirs, maybe their husband's, maybe it's a them thing, and just do it their own way. It's been a lot of fun. Oh no, everybody's frozen. Am I frozen?
Oh,
Or
And
you?
I started saying it just glitched.
Somebody's frozen.
So, well, I tell you what, it's probably Brad down there pushing buttons since I'm saying mean things about him right now. But a lot of times, and I don't think necessarily, sometimes they don't always mean to, but we get man-explained all the time. And I was like, just back up and let me go for just a minute. Let me do this myself.
Yep.
And I love that idea that I could be able to go with a group of women that's what we're going to do, is to be able to do it ourselves and experience it and grow with it, and other like-minded women with us. I mean, you know, we don't all have to be
literally just run feral for the weekend. It's a lot of, I mean, it's been a really unique and fun experience, and it's a community that these ladies are all in on, and I'm here for it.
So, the chat over here is like, it's Brad. It's always Brad's fault.
Dang it, Brad.
Dang it, Brad. No. But he is one of my biggest supporters too. At the same time, he's one of my largest supporters.
100%.
Yes,
I
and
know
I'm
that
sure yours is too.
Lance is in my corner anytime I need him. And if something were to happen and I was out with these girls, he'd be my first call.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was just getting ready to say the exact same thing. I give him 9 kinds of crap. I could do it myself, but at the same time, I'm like, do I do it this way? I do it this way, right? Just tell me I'm right, and then we can go on from that. And then I can act like, oh, I know how to do this. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
100%.
All right. So, Leanne, tell Valhalla. So, my little passenger princess over here.
Yes. So,
tell me a little bit about you guys.
So, very different experience, right? I do not drive unless just absolutely need to. Some of the trips we've taken, I did drive on the pavement on the way there or home because Craig was tired from driving 10 or 12 hours. So yes, I am the passenger princess. I have my martini. I'm ready. Anytime you want to go, I'm down, but not driving. Totally love it though. Love being outside. Jesse, to your point, it is really good to have that knowledge because like, what if something, because there are times when it's just the two of us, right? So
right.
Like, what if Craig twists his ankle or something, right? So just to be able to know how to put things back the way they were or close things up. He says I don't listen half the time. I probably don't, but I think and I've seen it enough and practiced it enough. Probably need more, but definitely, be able to help support, if something were to happen, and would be able to drive out. But we don't do anything crazy driving wise. So
would you? Okay, but in all honesty, would you have been comfortable getting yourself out of those mud holes that we went through the other day?
Oh, I would have just like punched the crap out of the gas and just like either dug the hole deeper or like I don't know.
We'd have had a hole in the front and the back tire.
Yeah. Maybe figure out the winch and like there were trees around. Like I don't know. Oh, we did. Hey, we could winch to the Yoda. There you go. The Yoda could have got us out. So yeah. So yeah, it would have either been an epic fail or a very adventurous story if I was driving that.
If he wasn't having an anxiety attack before, he definitely will before we get in there.
Yeah. So,
but would that be something you would want to do? Like, do you have any desire to get into the driver's seat and do any of that kind of stuff?
Maybe on some of the smaller trails. Like we've been to Moab 2 or 3 times and love Moab, right? Gosh, just so beautiful. And the terrain just is very vast and dramatically changes from one moment to the next, right? I think I would not be scared on some of the smaller trails, little bumps, a few rocks, but where you have to like line your tires up. And I just don't have the stomach for that, I think. No. I like to tell Craig everything he's doing wrong in the direction he needs to go. So I'm very good at, co-piloting us probably in the wrong direction or in the wrong line. But so not opposed to doing small trails, but I just, the big ones. Matter of fact, I know we'll talk about Maris later, but the last time we were at Maris, we were on, not going to remember the trail. Anyway, we went on the blue or a black. Yeah, it was a nice little hike. I walk a lot of the trail, the dogs.
So you said you walk a lot of it.
Yeah.
You would ride it or because you were videoing? Why?
So sometimes I do walk because I'll do some videos, especially if we're with a big group, right? Like I'll run up and video for the group, whatever. That was the end of the day. We had already done some Leanne approved aggressive more trails. I know the guys will laugh because, they're just the normal trails at Maris, but it was end of the day. Dogs were over it. I was over it. Up, down, bouncing. Yeah. Puck it out.
Peace out.
See, I'm a control freak. I'd have been in the get out of the driver's seat, get over there, you go record me. Like
Lance will not. He will not drive the Jeep. Not that he doesn't want to, like I'm sure he wants to, but he's like, Jesse, if I get in this thing and one thing breaks or one thing makes an unusual noise, he said, I will never, ever hear the end of it. And I'm like, that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
So,
right?
He's just getting really good now at taking pictures.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Now that so yours is Lance is
He's a passenger prince.
passenger
Yeah,
prince.
we need to get him a crown.
We
Right?
need to get crowns for the guys for that. I mean, it goes back to Brad being 100% my supporter and everything. So when we take my Jeep, he is my passenger prince. And so he's over there taking pictures and all times the awkward angles of my face.
Yes,
And so
right? So they're like,
what I look like, and I'm like, what? Delete that. I think it's a good picture. That's why he got his birthday
Could you like
post
angle
today.
this down a little? Like,
Yeah, I'm like,
you're
it needs to be
calling
the
me.
selfie up here. I have my clearance. Your head doesn't hit the top.
You got plenty of arm room down there. Come on now.
Oh my gosh, Gordon said, get him a purse.
It's a
man
merce.
bag.
The MERS.
MERS.
Thank you very much.
MERS.
The MERS. The MERS.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lance he's gotten really good at taking pictures, and he does my little short 10 to 15-second video bursts for me. And of course, obviously, if there's any spotting that I need, he's my go-to. So
Yeah. Oh, Feral Chick motto is not a wiener one.
Not a wiener one. Oh my God, that was so funny. We on our trip back in April, like I said, we'd gone down Car Wash Falls, and I don't know if you guys have been down there a whole lot recently, but there's a huge gravel bar that they've built out there. And so we had as many rigs as we did, and I was like, that's where my spot is to camp. Like, that's where we go in. And we got there a lot earlier in the day than I anticipated, but that was fine. We shut down. There was some side-by-sides out there, and I was like, hey guys, are y'all just hanging out? Are you camping? Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh no, we're just hanging out. And I was like, cool. So we roll in, and there's these guys, and they've been drinking. I mean, they're drunk. And this guy's walking around, and he's like, there ain't a guy out here. It's all women. Ain't nothing but women out here. And I just kind of walking around, and I was like, yep, not a wiener one.
Oh,
so he ended up having to like take group photos with us and everything by the time it was all said and done. It was hilarious, but that's kind of been our motto since then, is not a wiener one. Unless it's done.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So I'm sure I have a script somewhere and I'm supposed to follow, but I don't know about all that. So you mentioned Maris a while ago. So that is Maris Adventure Park in Merced, Texas? No, where am I at?
Well, I know you hit Claude and then take a left.
Yeah,
Claude,
it's just south of Claude. Yeah.
It's a Paladura Canyon.
Paladura, yeah.
Paladura Canyon. Yeah, that's right. I am horrible with names, with recalling anything like that. Been there, done that, but can't remember apparently, and I'm not very old. But anyways, so every year they put on. Well, no, I say every year. This is the third year, but it'll be my second year going. But every year they host an adventure her. And so it kind of goes along with the Feral Chick Outdoors. Mm-hmm. They have a weekend where it's nothing but female guides, and we get to go down through and experience I know the blue and the black. I don't remember what the lighter color was that goes with it, but they take all female teams or just individual drivers out and guide them through the blue and the black. And I think we even got some diamonds in this next year for the more experienced crawlers and rock stuff and stuff. And I think I've talked Passenger Princess over there going with me. And then Jessie, that's on your to-go list or to-do list.
Once we get back, we got vacation. We're going to Big Bend. We're going to be gone Christmas through New Year's Day. And so once we get back from there, then I'll try to see what we got, if there's any spots left or whatever.
That's cool. It's usually in the 1st of May. So yeah, we'll have to take off school. And
I have noticed though, I was looking through pictures and like I noticed that like most of those Jeeps are kind of like your just atypical.
For the most part, yeah.
Now I'm pretty top heavy with tent, water, showering, all that kind of jazz, on top. So that makes me a little nervous, but I'm assuming that they're gonna know what's going on out there. So
well, that's kind of the only reason why I really brought that up, is because I gained a lot of my confidence as far as pitch and roll. Yeah, like they have a pre-track that they'll make you go on, and I couldn't tell you the exact pitch of it or the roll, or
Sure.
But anyways, how far you can tip without, so like driving this way and then leaning this way. Yeah. much you can accomplish without falling over. And, you know, they made me back up 4 and 5 times before I finally got to where I was like, they're like, okay, if you get any farther than this, you're going over. And I was like, that was really eye-opening to experience that part of it and feel it, so that I know whenever I'm out there on a trail, even just out in the middle of the Ozarks and stuff, and I find myself up somewhere like that, I know I'm still going to be able to just keep going, easing. If I'm not going to tip over this way, I can go ahead and keep going forward or back myself back out. So
I'm
that was
pretty comfortable with that. But when you add, 500 pounds on top of that thing,
it definitely puts a whole new perspective on just
100%.
riding inside of it too. I mean, even with Brad's, when we ride in his Gladiator, with having the tent and everything else on top of it, you can tell there's just a little bit more play in the top of it than there is without mine. Mine just has a rack on the top of it, and I just pull our trailer and stuff that goes with it. So, but anyways, that's my spiel about that. And that was the one thing that I really enjoyed about that part of it, was that it, again, not bashing the guys or anything, but it lets me get out there and actually experience it myself and do it myself without having to be over the shoulder or feel like I'm trying to have to impress anybody or anything like that, and letting me experience that. Let's see. Then moving on into that was going to be, I forgot. I went completely blank on what I was going to say next. I know what it was. So I am not speaking of top heavy, I'm not a very big rooftop tent. I don't want one on my Jeep. Okay. I get it. I understand the appeal of it, the convenience of it and everything, but I do not want one on the top of my Jeep for the fact that it's top heavy. So I pull a trailer. So Jessie, I know you get out there and you do a lot of that stuff. I mean, you have a rooftop tent. What do you think?
So Lance and I ground tented forever. And I mean, we had just had a Coleman, 6-man tent that we used all the time. And I don't really have any problems with it. We had it up in 5 or 6 minutes. No big deal. But when we kind of started getting into more of like the overland style stuff, and particularly like wanting to go by myself, and then you kind of start loading your Wrangler and you end up playing what we like to call Jeep Jenga, your weight distribution and your room back there, you just don't have it like you do with the Gladiators. So for us, it was just a smarter move, and you don't really think about it, but like your bedding and pillows and things like that, it takes up a lot of space, and it's a lot of, precious space really. So, and then I ended up with we actually initially bought a bag tent. So it was an Iron Man, had the bag on top, you flip it over, stuff it back in. That's initially what we started with, rooftop tent style. And it wasn't terrible. Lance and I went a few times by ourselves, together or whatever, and we could get it in and out pretty good. And then I decided that I wanted 37s. And then I decided that the 37s needed a 4-inch lift. And then Jessie went camping by herself one time, and it took me an hour to get that thing put away by myself because I had to climb up on my Jeep.
I was going to say, did you take a ladder with you?
Yeah, and the ladder, it was really funny. The ladder actually didn't reach the ground by that time. So I had to use my Go Treads as like the ladder base for it. And then that was when we had, I don't know if you guys remember, y'all are in Arkansas, so you may not, but we had a really bad storm come through. It was Father's Day weekend in 22. Is that when it was? It was 22, and we were out camping. I was by myself. I didn't have Lance with me that weekend, and the storm came through and blew the ladder off the Go Treads. So the ladder was just dangling there, and I had to wait until I saw somebody come across, and I was like, TJ, save me. So he had to come put my ladder back underneath the Go Tread so I could get back down out of it. So anyways, after that, I was like, you know what? No, we're not doing that. So we ended up getting a wedge style, and that's been really good for us. So
Brad has the wedge style on top of ours, and I enjoy sleeping in it. So, Leanne, I know you guys have a camper, and I know you have the rooftop tent also. So, preferences?
So, yeah, we have the turtle bag that has the rooftop tent on top of it, right? Definitely like that. The wedge tent is new. That's a new purchase that Craig made recently. So this weekend was actually the first time that the wedge tent had made it out. So that's why we had the his and hers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How quick the wedges go up. I mean, you're in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Snap, push, and you're done.
Like I feel like I could go
Right?
ahead and do it if I had to take his with me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so the wedge tent will be good. Like if we go out without the dogs, because we'll fit in that, with no problem for like a quick weekend or whatever, not having to take the trailer. But yeah, so he loved it. He said the blackout of it, he was like, I didn't know if it was 7 at night or 7 in the morning. And then of course being cold this weekend, right? We had both heaters going. So I think it just about burned him out of it too. I think he ended up like turning the heater off and opening the window and all that stuff. So
Because you guys,
yeah,
it's a free spirit, right? Isn't that what you guys got?
What is it?
You guys have the free spirit, right?
I think that's right. He can correct me in the chat. But FSR, is that free spirit?
Yeah. Yep, the free spirit recreation. So those are actually pretty cool because they have that honeycomb pattern on it, and it's actually like a super insulated. They call it like their tri-layer insulation, and so it makes it like a four season tent. So that's actually pretty cool. I do appreciate that about the free spirits. They're well insulated.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But just I've only done the iCamper on the truck, which was not bad. But I like the turtleback. One, because we have the two, for those you don't know, we have 2 labs, right? They do this everywhere. And we have the ladder attachment where they can just scurry up the ladder. So being on the turtleback, I can extend the ladder out enough where I don't have to kind of carry them up or whatever. They can kind of get up it by themselves. But when it's on top of the Jeep, it's definitely more of you really have to guide them up and stuff. It's easier for me because I go to bed so much earlier than Craig anyway, to get them up in the iCamper on the turtleback. So yeah, the turtleback with the storage and stuff. But yeah, I think we'll do some camping in the wedge tent probably sometime this next year. So ask me again in the next year. I might have a different perspective of the wedge, but so far so good. He's happy with it. So
good. Somebody said something about for the storage and stuff. They said that they use the Ziploc bags that you can squeeze the air out of, and that was a game changer on keeping, as far as the bedding and stuff, saving a little bit of precious space. Yeah. My precious space has to be used for my furry friend. I have Luna, and you've talked about Nala and Remy. You have 2 puppies, and we've got Patrick, that I have lovingly named Kevin because I can't remember his name. Patrick Kevin Wishbone. There was a lady there this weekend that she thought he looked like Wishbone from way back when. I was like,
that's usually how I tell people's age. Like if I take him out, people are like, "Oh my god, he looks like Wishbone," and I'm like, "All right, you're pretty close to my age." But then you get people that are like, "Oh my god, it looks like what's the dog? Eddie." They're like, "Oh my god, it looks like Eddie from Frasier."
Oh, from Frasier. Yeah, that's what Craig said.
Actually. Okay. So either one or the other.
Yeah, you can also I was just thinking too, you were talking about the insulation on that rooftop tent. We didn't hear Craig snoring this weekend. So yeah, it was pretty insulated.
Holds it all in.
No, I didn't hear you. And they're blaming you in the chat over here. Is that what that sound was?
I'm not ashamed. I snore. I sleep really good.
I started to say, this when I'm getting good sleep, and you better not wake me up, because if you wake me up, I'm coming up swinging.
Our mattress lost air Saturday night. And so
the cold?
Do what?
Because of the cold?
I think it was just in the like the valves or something started leaking on it. I don't know. It did it to me last weekend, and I thought it was just the cold that zapped it, because I camped 2 nights last weekend, and I thought in the first night it was fine. The second night I was like, meh. But then it did it to us Saturday night too. Luckily, I have the Free Spirit. They make like a little quilted topper from Free Spirit that's on top of it. That's not the only thing that saved us Saturday night, because it was rough. We both woke up like we were 90 years old trying to climb out.
My back. Yep. So was that a Lost Horizon mattress that you guys are using?
Yeah, and that's actually my second. Well, their customer service is really impressive. I will give them that. Yeah, they're actually sending me a replacement. They wanted to send valves, but with it being really close to our Big Bend trip, they're sending me a full replacement.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Wandering possum. I'm glad I only snore when I'm sleeping.
I'll tell you when we
can wake yourself up.
Right?
I do that more often than I care to.
My Fitbit registers so much better that I sleep when we camp. I don't know if it's the cold or because, you are out riding and just all the extra activity and stuff, but I do sleep really well when we camp. So I'm with you, Jessie, on the mattresses. They're great.
They definitely do make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do.
All right. So thinking about sleeping in the outdoors and stuff, and hopefully our mattresses don't go flat. How do we pick? how would we pick where we want to go? I mean, I know there's like the bucket list things. There's Maris. There's in Colorado. What am I thinking of?
San Juan's.
Huh?
San Juan's.
San Juan's. That, and then the one everybody goes to out west. Why am I so blank?
The Grand Canyon?
No, where the overland, the rock crawling and stuff that they do out west.
Moab?
Yes, that.
Oh,
Thank you. This is a good game of charades. No, what is it? Charade, not charades, but whatever, the guess at the word things, Yeah.
Up there on the map.
I'm good at giving clues and hints.
The Wheel of Fortune. Give me
the guessers. You have to be the guessers. Yeah, Rubicon, Moab. I'm getting all of it. Black Bear. Never thought about that.
No.
Yeah. How do you pick where you want to go, and how do you pick a campsite?
For us, if we're just doing, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday trip, we're only 3 hours really from the Ozarks. So we almost always go to the Ozarks when it seems like on our weekend stuff. I would like to get down to the Ouachitas at some point, a little bit further south. I'm just not really familiar with the area. And I'd like to go with somebody that's a little bit more familiar with it than I am. But as far as camping sites go, it's just kind of whatever we roll up on whenever we're ready to stop. The one thing I will say about the Ozarks is, and I'm not knocking it in any way, but it does seem like you have to shut down a lot earlier in the day to get a good spot versus, trying to shut down 4 or 5 o'clock because most of the stuff is going to be gone, it seems like, anymore. But as far as our big trips go, Lance and I usually try to plan 1, maybe 2 big trips a year. Colorado's always high on our list. We really enjoy going there. Moab is on our list, but it's not as high. I don't really know why. It's just, I think I'm probably waiting, honestly, to get a newer rig because mine's a 2016. It's got 164,000 miles on it. Like, it's creaky, it's crawly. So I think once we get a newer rig, that might be something we look into.
Moab's just not high on my list because I hear so many stories. Everybody else has already done it.
Yes.
So I kind of want to start doing the ones that are not as advertised, or people have not attended those or went to those areas. And so I keep kind of trying to push Brad a little more towards those things.
We have some friends that did the, was it not Muskogee, New Mexico or Arizona? New Mexico, I think. They did the New Mexico BDR, and their pictures from that trip are fabulous.
Oh, good.
And so it's literally just, dirt trails through the BLM lands and whatnot. But like they have like camp spots like by canyons with these ginormous saguaro cactuses, and
that would be
like it's amazing. So that's definitely on our list to do for sure.
Good.
Where is it?
Huh?
New Mexico. What?
The New Mexico. They call it the BDR.
Okay.
Like every state has like a BDR, and don't ask me what it stands for because I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's basically just a trail system. And I think if I remember correctly, it was primarily made for like the adventure bikes maybe, but they're definitely wide enough and legal for full-size vehicles to go on.
Oh, nice. Oh, see, now I've got him chiming in. He wants to go to New Mexico.
Yeah. I think that might actually...
Go ahead.
I think that might actually be where we try to go for 2025 is New Mexico.
Ooh,
so
maybe I can see a collaboration going on here.
Right?
I would think that would be awesome.
But also, if you've never been to the San Juans in Colorado in the fall.
Oh.
That's my problem is I want to go to the fall for everything. I want to see the foliage. I want to see the colors. I want to see the browns. I want to see all of that.
To see the aspens change colors.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Like, there's literally no better place on earth than the San Juans in Colorado. Quite honestly, it's close to heaven as you're gonna get.
There's 2 trips next year.
Throw a dart, throw it for the calendar, and pick when we're going, and then just make that the dates. Make that the dates.
What about you, Gina? You answered that. How do you pick?
How do I pick? whatever Brad says.
What do you guys?
Honestly, I am so Brad usually goes through and goes, "Ooh, what are these things?" And then I say, "I think I want to do that," and then we build it around that. He does the leg work, and I do the picking and stuff.
Oh, this looks pretty.
Huh?
Said, oh, this looks pretty. Let's do this.
Well, I usually go, "What are the trails like?" And then I go, "Oh yeah, that's got some pretty views to it with it too." So
we're down to hike. We like to try to hit up some of the waterfalls and stuff like that. So
I can't get Brad to hike. I wouldn't mind hiking. I started walking more with Leanne. Every time she goes anywhere, I go with her. Got to see some really cool icicles from where some little small water creek where we were staying at and stuff. So I noticed that she hikes and moves and walks a lot more, but can't get Brad to do much of the hiking part of it. So I'd have to be in a group that would take somebody
You need to
else.
get him some trekking poles.
He needs a full body bubble suit. He twisted his ankle taking video this weekend. So I'm gonna just leave him at camp. It's cheaper on me. I don't have to take him to the emergency room when we get back. But yeah, no, I really don't. I do say that I don't necessarily want to go to Moab right off the bat or off the top. That's not one of my diehards, but for the most part, he goes through and picking different places, and then we kind of narrow it down from that. And then I get a say in that part of it. And then I get a say in, how we're going to travel to it and stuff. So that kind of segues into trail maps. I know when I got my Jeep, it had Onyx as its free trial for the first full year. I absolutely loved it. And then I know there's Gaia that most people I'm on the Jeep side of things. Sorry, other people. They use the Gaia trail mapping and stuff like that. So I found that it was very clunky. I found it was harder to get through the small side menus and such to get to and understanding the overlays and then to put in the highways and to put in the state or the national forest and put on these trails and then take that out. I was confused and it just wasn't user friendly to me. Simple-minded. I really did enjoy using the Onyx. I got to see more of the stuff that I needed to see. It was a little bit easier for me to navigate and be able to start marking trails whenever we were going down trails and stuff, and to be able to go back. That's my biggest thing with Gaia is that once I do it and map it, I can't find it again. I don't know where I saved it. If I didn't save it, I don't. And Brad's tried showing me a couple of times when I went to Adventure Her last year. There were several that was, oh yeah, Gaia is the easiest thing, and so they kept trying to show me. I guess I'm a dunce whenever it comes to that. I just never could get into it, but I really do like the ease of Onyx. So, what's your experiences with those?
I actually have both. I'm super bougie, I guess. I prefer Gaia, and I think that's just simply kind of like what I started with. So that's what I know. I don't really have anything against Onyx, but to me, Gaia does offer more information and a little bit better view at some things when you're trying to look at some stuff. I do use both occasionally, and I did actually host a navigation class back in the summer, and it was for Onyx. I had Tony Cress with Bats Off-Road come over and teach that. But I personally just prefer Gaia. But I don't know, they did a price hike increase this last year. That's pretty impressive. So we may be switching to Onyx once my subscription runs out for sure.
Well, I honestly have no idea on the cost part of it. I just said that's what I want to use. And so that's kind of where I was at. And most everybody that I talked to, I think they were the same way. They just had already started with Gaia. They learned it from the get-go. And so that was what their go-to is. Right. And then they're all almost the opposite as far as Onyx goes, is going, that makes no sense on how to use that part of it. So it goes back really just to
I mean, it just goes to what you're comfortable with and what's going to get you from point A to point B, and I don't have anything against Onyx. It's just like I said, I started with Gaia. That's what I've learned, and so that's kind of just what I'm comfortable with. But I do have both.
I wonder too if, as far as like whenever you're going through and mapping the trails, the information on if it's more rock crawling, if it's just more of a service road trail. Like I don't know, and I like to figure out if it's more of that. I just lost my train of thought again. I'll be real honest. There's some red wine in here, and I think I need to stop sipping out of it because I just completely went blank.
I've gotten pretty good about putting like a quick description in, like if we take a trail or something like that, and especially if it's something that we're kind of like maybe scouting for like my feral chick group, because to be honest, a lot of those girls are beginners or they have stock rigs or this and that. So I do always try to make the wheeling side of it a little bit easier. So that is something that I definitely make sure that I mark, like FCO worthy, not FCO worthy, things like that. So.
And when we were first getting started into overlanding and stuff like that, Brad had all of the maps and everybody had shared everything with us. And he's like, what does it say coming up there? And I was like, campsite 1. And he goes, all right, well, what's that other one? You're looking for horse camp. And I'm like, okay. And I start clicking on the little tents and stuff. And it's campsite 1 and a campsite by the rock and campsite 3. And
epic campsite.
I can't find a horse camp.
So that's what he kept calling it, was horse camp the other weekend. And I was like,
that's that. Well, that was that one that was down farther from where we were at. But yeah,
we went down there when we left because I wanted to, I was like, what's horse camp? I want to go see it. And so we pulled down there and I'm like, Lance, we've camped here. This is where we camped at like last year when we were down here.
What do you call it then?
We just called it really cool camp by the water. Could fit 7 rigs.
Seems to be a really long title to put in Gaia, though. I think you probably need to downsize it.
Really cool camp by the water, 7 rigs. That's what we call it.
I do have to say about those 2 campsites that we were at, apparently there is a pair of bald eagles that are nesting close, because every morning about 8 o'clock, 8:30, you can see one coming down the creek run.
I saw somebody take some pictures of it, and I wasn't sure if that was from camp or if y'all had just seen it like on trail or what.
I think it was our friend Jamie Flannery. I think he was one of those that had managed to get a hold of a video or a picture of them coming down through that creek run. But it was just so cool. It was like one of those. I was like, an eagle. I mean, it was just huge. You could see the white head, the white underbody. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was actually it was really awesome and breathtaking to see that.
We saw as we were picking up today, it came through because we were like, where's Patrick Kevin?
Watch the dogs.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I would think of what is it? The proposal where she's like the eagle or the hawk ever swoops around and gets the dog. What's that dog's name? Isn't its name like Kevin or something like that?
No.
On the proposal
is Kevin.
I think its name is Kevin. Maybe that's why I kept calling your dog Kevin. Oh my gosh, that was too funny. That was too funny. Now I forgot what I was going to segue into again. All right. So Jessie, you talked a little bit about your Jeep. You said you had a little bit older one. We started out in and I'm probably going to get the year wrong, but I think it was a 17 white JK. I'm waiting for the chat to pop up to correct me here in just a second.
No, if it's a 17, it's a JK.
Yeah. Okay. I always get the brain here that I've got, I get things mixed up all the time. But anyways, I loved that thing. And so we name our vehicles. So Jessie, I don't remember. I mean, is yours named?
It's naked right now. I took all the vinyl off of it because I'm hoping to have a little bit of fancy vinyl done. But its name is Bougie on a Budget.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Bougie on a Budget. So, our original one was named Narwhal. We were standing there one day, my son, when they were 8 years old, and they come across the video of the narwhal video. It's narwhals swimming in the ocean, and we were like always cracking jokes about a narwhal, is it something that's rarity, you get to see it or anything like that. So when we hadn't had a Jeep in a very long time, neither one of us. And so I, kind of hinted again. I said, I'd like to get back into Jeeps. And Brad's like, okay. He's like, well, let's just go up there and let's ask what they've got. And I was like, no, I want it lifted. I want it to have the tires. I want it to have the bumpers. I want it to have everything. And I don't want a white one, So I'm thinking, this bucket list, this laundry list of things to get, would give me some time because we just paid off all of our vehicles. I didn't want another payment. It was amusing. I wanted to, get back into it. I didn't say I had to go do it right then. And I'll be dadgummit if 2 days later, the guy at the Dodge dealership, Brad, called and said, hey, this is what I want. The Jeep I wanted, except for it was white, was sitting in the parking lot. We bought it the next day. But anyways, we were sitting there, and so it was giant and white. It's all jacked up, and it had the really tall Stinger bumper on the front. And I was like, it looks like a narwhal. So that's how we got our name on as far as the narwhal part of it goes and stuff. So how did you get bougie on a budget?
Because well, once you guys really get to know me, you will find that I am down for a deal at any point in time. And so it just really kind of fit. I'm a rather bougie individual. I gotta have all the toys and bells and whistles and whatnot. And if you guys really want to know, usually my nails and stuff like that are done most of the time. They haven't been the last month or so, but they usually are when I go out. So bougie on budget just really kind of fit the bill. It wasn't. This is my first Jeep, and it wasn't supposed to be what it is now. It's just really kind of evolved into its own animal. I just wanted a Jeep to pop the top, be cool, take the kayaks, get the just do the whole girl thing. And I've never taken the top off that thing. Haven't taken the top off. Don't even know if we can take the doors off anymore at this point. So it's just, I had a Sunrider top for a long time, and I stinking loved that thing. It was the best $400 that I had spent on that Jeep. And then when I got this tent, I had to lose it. And it was just one of those sacrificial moments. And so there's been a lot of change, and part of me really wants to go back and just get like a little 2-door just so that I can have that Jeep aspect.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if we'll do it or not. I really want a Gladiator. That's really what I want. I really want a Tuscanero pink Gladiator.
There's the bougie part. There's the bougie.
Yeah, but I keep honestly, I just ride around some of these forums and I listen to people the issues that I have with my Jeep are primarily at this point due to age, mileage, and maintenance issues. It's never like mechanically left me stranded somewhere other than when the oil cooler went out on it. That being said, like I just see nothing but these guys. This has electrical problems. This has this problem. This is going back to we have a friend that had a whole new rear end put in his Gladiator. Saw somebody had to get a whole new transmission and engine with 8,000 miles on it. And I'm just like, I don't know that I want to deal with any of that. So
I'm just not a big fan of the Gladiators, but that puts into Leanne for Till Valhalla. Did you get to have any input with that?
What?
You just sit over there, Princess.
Yes. So the Jeep's name is actually Ragnar. Craig is a very good friend that his rifle was named Ragnar, and he just thought that was a really cool name. And it's a Viking king, right? Ragnar, for all the Viking fans or whatever. Not football, the actual Viking. And then Valhalla just kind of went with it, right? There's also a program, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but I think it's called Project Valhalla. It supports combat veterans and first responders for PTSD. So it just kind of all fell in with just supporting, our military and first responders, and just kind of a platform that Craig can use to help support that. But Ragnar, that's actually the GO. His original Instagram was like Ragnar JL. He's gonna get me. I think it's JL. LJ? JL. And then it evolved to the Till Valhalla. So
I love it. I actually recognize that because I do like a lot of the Norse and the Viking history and all that kind of stuff that went into it. But I really enjoyed that part of it. All right, they're over here laughing at me. Jeep bug.
I
know.
Just here to El Camino.
I'm nervous and I'm thirsty and I'm talking a lot. Stop making fun of me about that. It makes for more interesting times, right? Let's see.
I need to be schooled on Jeep.
It wouldn't matter. It goes in this side and right outside the other side. I can't keep up with all of the letters and the JTs and the JLs and the JKs and the 60, 70.
I love my 4Runner. Craig has threatened to. He's always like, I'm gonna put a lift on it, and we're gonna get some bigger tires. And I'm like, don't touch my 4Runner. It's a TRD off road. It's fine. So
But
yeah.
see, I would go with him. I would be like, you need a little bit of a lift, you need some bigger tires, and get your rack for the top.
My
No.
ideal overlanding rig is an excursion.
Come on to the dark side. An excursion. That
A
thing's
Ford
huge.
excursion with a 7.3 in it. Heck yes,
You wouldn't
that
need
is
any
my
trails. You'd just be like
ideal overland rig.
right on down through there.
Yeah.
Just bull
I take my
down.
4Runner off-roading. I off-road on curbs and parking spots all the time. So I'm off-roading on my own.
You can do that with the Jeep too. I do that. I thought that was part of the road. So can't help it that there's people on it.
Pavement?
Yeah.
Pavement's all pavement, right?
I curb
Yeah.
it. I cannot. I've drove. I mean, I'm not a bad driver. I've only been in one wreck in my life, but I cannot make a turn without every time.
Yep.
I'm like, if I pull, I feel like I'm gonna pull way out there and then turn back in there. I'm in the oncoming traffic, so I like really try to cut it short and everything. And I hit that curb every time. I'm like, ridiculous. All right, what are we thinking here? Okay, here's a good one. So, knowing who we know, we've seen several podcasts and watched different people and everything. Is there anybody that you kind of look up to that's in the overlanding world? Like, I know some people are like, oh man, I really enjoy watching Jessie with Feral Chick Outdoors, or Gina.
I don't watch YouTube hardly at all.
I don't have time. So
really. So to get me to sit down
know.
and watch somebody's like hour-long video over something, unless it's something that like is really captivating to me, I'm probably not gonna do it. That being said, Lady Overlander Radio, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or not, but Misty and Arla, like those two girls are like, they have my heart.
I was on the last. I watched the last one with the coffee. They were talking with. All I can remember is coffee. Who was it?
With Logic Overland.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can remember coffee. I can remember some of the conversations about using the French presses and then the different grinds and the different. Could not remember Vengeance. Or see, is it right? What is it?
Lady Overlander Radio.
No, the coffee.
Oh, Logic Overland.
Logic Overland. See, I'm calling it Vengeance because I think I saw the word vengeance over here.
So Misty and her husband Joe, they actually like pretty much overland full time. I would say they probably Joe is gone almost 100% of the time, and she's with him. I'd say probably 75 to 80% of her time. So they had their kids, like they were doing the whole thing. It's pretty impressive to watch their adventures for sure.
If you have to say the bad driver.
What?
So there was a comment on here. If you have to say, I'm not a bad driver.
You really are.
I feel attacked.
No. I'm an excellent driver. I have no problem.
I can tell anybody else how to drive, no problem.
Yes. I make it from A to B and back to A, no issues.
I have a little van for work that I have to carry. I mean, I carry like 200 gallons of water with me every day, but it's literally, I feel like I'm in like Mario Kart and I'm just throwing shells at people all day. Get out of my way! It's all day. You hear that little thing go, wow!
So you're funny talking about coffee with the French press. You saw my setup.
Talk about bougie. Hello, let's talk about bougie. Put the princess hat back on. They bring a Keurig with them.
Yes.
Well, they have a turtleback. They've got the ability to it with a turtleback.
But even if they didn't have it, they were bringing it.
Yeah.
When they came,
I tried
when we were at Maris 2 years ago. You had the
and I was grouchy. That was grouchy.
No, we French press. We usually French press out on the trail. That's how we typically do it.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I drink coffee just about every day while I'm at home. When I get out there on the trail, I don't want coffee, and I don't know why. It's the strangest thing because Brad's all ready to buy me the French press and buy me all the things that I want, but I just don't drink coffee. I think I've drank it once the whole time, all the times that I've been out there and camping and stuff. That's just not one of the things. But that does kind of segue in. I'm a fat girl. We got about 10 minutes left. Fat girl here. What's our favorite go-to food? And other than coffee, let's talk about some food and how do we cook it? What we got going on with that?
Go on, Leanne. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, if it's left up to Craig, we're eating hot dogs and hamburgers all the time, and I refuse. So when we first started, I was very bougie, as you say, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make all these cool camp meals from scratch." And oh my gosh, we were in Moab, and I decided to make chicken enchiladas. That was a disaster. It took me like an hour and a half with one burner. And yeah, so I had all these like elaborate plans. Now it's definitely scaled back down. So, but I think one of our go-to ones, we do I'll buy the diced potatoes that you get in the freezer section and just throw those in the skillet to kind of brown. And then HEB, so in Texas, for all our Texas people watching.
So jealous.
Oh my gosh, I'm a psycho for HEB. I have this. It's not Polish sausage, it's a beef brisket sausage, but it looks like that. Anyway, so it's just potatoes, the sausage, and some cheese, and you just heat it up and melt it. So easy, comforting, warm, filling, quick, one pan. Like that's kind of my go-to. So yeah, soups, grilled cheese sandwiches, those are always a go-to as well. So recently, I didn't do it. I was a little bit lazy at the time because we had some food. The pot, like that venison stew you made was delicious. And then Jessie, those chicken and dumplings. I was like tearing up those dumplings. They were so good. So I was going to make spaghetti because it's so easy. You just throw all that in a pot, right? So normally my go-to recently has been spaghetti, just our sauce.
So for us, when we're out at camp, I feel like we eat better at camp than we do at home, to be honest. But most of the time, we're pretty much down for just a good steak and some veggies. Just about every time. We recently just switched up our cooking method though. Like we had what they call trail fire grill. And the trail fire was a big round fire pit, propane fire pit, and then it has like this big I think it's like a cast aluminum or carbon, it's a carbon steel like wok style thing with it, but you cooked on it like you would a Blackstone.
Oh, okay.
And so we absolutely loved that thing, but honestly, it's just a little big. So we recently downsized to a smaller fire pit, and then we also got the Pinnacle, the GSI Pinnacle. So we're learn curving that, cooking with that. But yeah, we're down for steak and veggies. We do a lot of breakfast tacos, chorizo and egg. That's honestly, I don't get too fancy out there. We do. We started doing. Have you guys ever heard of Mamus? The frozen meals, freeze dried meals.
I don't guess so.
Oh man, so they're Cajuns. They from way down south in Louisiana, and they make these freeze dried meals, and they're phenomenal. You literally just heat up some water in your jet boil, throw it in the pouch, let it set for a little bit, doctor it up with some cheese or sour cream or whatever, and you're good to go. So that's kind of been a go-to. It saves a lot of space. So
yeah.
And then Lance says he really likes tortellini soup. We make a tortellini soup sometimes.
Oh, yeah, there's a good I like a good tortellini soup. There's we've got Rachel that said, ask Jessie about the French toast she made the group.
So
story.
I started making my French toast using the Hawaiian rolls instead of like Wagyu white bread. Wagyu white bread.
Your cup too.
But you make it just like you do French toast. You can chop it. Sometimes you can slice it in half if you need it to go a little bit faster. But I like the big chunks of it. But I have my little egg and milk and vanilla mix, and you got to use Mexican vanilla, or it doesn't count.
It does not count. That is the best.
Very true.
And then you just cook it like you do French toast. It is phenomenal.
Oh, that's
okay.
You don't even need syrup for it because the bread's already sweet, and then you add, everything else into it. You literally don't even need syrup. I
will have to try it because I'm one of those that I need a bowl to pour the syrup in, and then I like
dip it in it.
Everything in it, and then if there's still syrup on my plate, I feel like I've accomplished my pancakes or my waffles or my French toast. It's got to be more syrup than not, so I'll have to take your word on that one.
Yeah, we usually don't even put syrup on it. It's that good. Next time we go camping, I'll make some.
Please do.
I will hold you to that one. I will hold you to that. I've got a real good friend, Becky. She is like the camp cook whenever we go, and she cannot make a small amount of anything. She makes enough to feed a whole arsenal. So that was one of our things that kind of picking on her a little bit because bless her heart, I was like, don't cook so much. And then I finally got to where anytime I know she's going, I just like give her the gas.
That's why we downsized from the trail fire.
yeah, what are we eating? And but then like if she's not going, Brad and I have really tried working down and downsizing. And I get tickled because we got started with overlanding. We took tacos, chicken fajitas, something that had a tortilla with it. And it finally got to the point where I was like, Brad, I'm tired of that. We got to find something else. Can we find anything else? And so we started really looking into doing easier ways to like I did the venison stew for the potluck.
That's so good.
We so my family, whenever we harvest deer and stuff, we take what you can't fry and we can it and we put it just into pint jars and stuff. And then we add, you boil your potatoes and carrots. We even canned carrots this year. It was my first year canning carrots. We never raised them before. So I got to get involved with doing a little bit of that this year and stuff. So it was really cool to like bring all my home goods and my canning and put it out there on the table and peel my potatoes that did come from the garden this year and stuff. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Listen, we're going to have to become best friends because I also have started my own canning journey this year.
I know. It's so awesome. I love it.
I have some quarts of stew that I made that I pressure canned. And that's one of our,
I haven't been brave enough to actually, I've not been brave enough yet to actually construct it and then can it. I'm still individual ingredients at this point.
We made it and then I pressure canned it. So I'm hoping we don't die of botulism. But
please don't do that. We're just getting this started. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
But I actually just got in my pressure canning recipe book, so I'm super excited about it.
I'm still rocking my feed. I know. I'm so proud of you. That's so cool because like there's not many in our age group that does seem to do that. My mom has
Christmas this year. Like I made jellies and jams and
I'm all about some
pickled a bunch of stuff, and so that's what everybody's getting this year. So
I love it, and it's so much healthier too. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we've got a friend Becky put on here in the chat. We've got a friend Tammy. She cans milk. She preserves her eggs in jars. She what else is it that I mean, you name it. Oh, she makes pecan pies. She puts little miniature pies in jars and then brings them out to Cam. It's like, here, you want some pie? I'm like, what the what? Sure. Yeah.
We got some of the jarred cake at Rendezvous.
Yeah. So
did you guys go to the cake lady at Rendezvous? That had the cake, she had the cake in a jar?
No, I didn't see that.
Wait, I was at Rendezvous. I didn't see her.
I didn't see her either.
She had a bunch of jams and jellies, and they do all kinds of stuff. And then she's got cakes.
Maybe I saw the jams and jellies, so they may have already sold out of the cake and stuff by the time I got there. It was just highly possible.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I really don't know how this ends. I got prepped on the front side of this, but I didn't get prepped on the back side of this. We've got about 2 minutes left. So I just really wanted to take a moment and just thank you ladies for jumping into this and sharing all of your experiences with us. I'm really hoping to get more out there and bring some more ladies in on it. I don't care if they're my pavement princesses or if not pavement princesses, passenger princesses.
Yes.
Huh?
Passenger princess.
Passenger princess, yes. Pavement princesses are the vehicles that don't trail with us. That's what I was sorry about that. You're out there with us, you're getting muddy with us, you're just not driving, right?
Yes, exactly.
I love that there is these strong friendships that we are creating and the strong power that comes behind just having like-mindedness. Even if we don't all do the same things, it's just like it all goes back to it takes a village. And it does. It takes a village when you go to camp and when you overland and just getting out back into nature and enjoying everything that is able to experience. I know I've got some girls on my side. They've been begging to do just a girls trip and just our little small group. And I think we're about ready to roll one out in February. I think I talked to you ladies about it. And so I'm super excited about it. So I wanted to thank each one of you and go out there and have fun. And I can't wait to see you guys out on the trail.
Soon. Frosty fenders and campfire benders, right?
Oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. Yes. February 26th. I can't believe I forgot that. I got like 10 seconds. Come out on the Facebook page, Overlanding 870. Yes, come out and join us. Y'all been fantastic. Thank you. Mwah. talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so